it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is, why is it so hard to trust others after you have been through a malignant narcissist or psychopathic relationship? A relationship that was wrought with manipulation, one that was wrought with a good degree of time where you had really given a lot to this person, or you were exposed to a lot of time with this person. In other words, you had catered to their needs. Perhaps you became codependent. You were enabling the relationship. You were enabling the abuse. You began to kind of foster or reinforce the imbalance of relationship, where they were the authority, you were the less than. They were the one who made all the decisions. You were the follower. So you didn't give yourself equal footing. You felt yourself and reinforced the negative messages that they had set forth in the relationship, and you had swallowed that or subconsciously agreed that you were less than. And now it's, you've been discarded, you've realized that they're cheating or that they've lied, and you're sick of playing the antics, playing the game. Their lifestyle. You don't like the superficiality of it. And when we look at some of the forerunners, the pioneers, the frontiersmen who have studied really malignant narcissism and psychopathy, particularly Klecky and Hare, it is to understand that these individuals are very limited emotionally in what they can experience. So they don't really blossom in the way that really other people who don't have a personality disorder. And they're really distinct in stating that the personality disorder is not a mental illness. It's a disorder of the personality. So when you really understand there's a very, very limited or superficial sort of emotional connection that they will have to life and to others, and that there's something kind of missing. In other words, they're not hitting on the right cylinders for you. There's a place that they're not really resonating. Either, just having alone time, just being you, just relaxing, being able to have a night at home. You're sick of their standards and living their reality. They always want to go out, or they always, want to be, jazzed up in a specific way. And you feel like this is a lot of work. Or it's just, you're not really getting what you need out of the relationship, and you're finally willing to admit it. And maybe it's, you've been in the relationship for too long. In other words, after the relationship was over, you were still kind of half in, or you're still half feeling that this relationship is where you should be. In other words, you have kind of like a relationship addiction. You felt that there was going to be no other. You couldn't see the big picture after this because your picture had been made so small and so limited. And so it is really then to understand that, your trust of others comes, with understanding trust within yourself and self-reliance. Realizing that you're the ultimate go-to person for you, and that is okay. The narcissist, the psychopath, will oftentimes reinforce or negate or blow that out. In other words, you're not good enough to go home to. You're not where home is at. So these very negative, caustic, sardonic messages are very hurtful to the body and soul. So it is to say, wow, the gravest, the holiest of holies, you're not worth being honest to. You're not, worth giving the time of day. You're not worth my eye contact. You must be scolded, belittled, hypercriticism. These cut deep. These are really, really deep wounds and negative messages, especially from the people who you thought were idealized or authority figures in your life. In other words, the people you had to answer to them. And so it is to understand that you do not, hitherto, from here moving forward, you do not need to answer to these people. You do not need to cater to their standards. You do not need to cater to their sense of reality. You are your own go-to person. You answer unequivocally 100% to yourself. You, my friend, my empowered harmonizer, you are responsible now and accountable to yourself. So this oftentimes is scary, especially if you're not used to being in the driver's seat or having emotional mastery of yourself and knowing how to transition. I find that people who have been, in encounters with these individuals, they have a difficulty kind of transitioning, and getting balance in their life. Balance from, being, it's okay to be alone. The narcissist, the psychopath, they have such a need to be validated and acknowledged by others that being alone is not a goal or objective for them. These are the people who cannot be alone. These are the people who might go way far in organizations or life because they need so many people. They need to be the CFO of, a global corporation over hundreds of thousands of people. They need that power. They need that validation. They need that title. They need that income. The greed, the whole abyss is so large within them that they just, climb, float, work, whatever it is. It's not to say that all, people in those positions are narcissistic or psychopathic, but, they go very far in life, but they feel that, they need this validation. They have a huge need for supply. The psychopath is a parasite. They unequivocally feed off of the recognition and validation of others. These people are not comfortable being alone. And if they do, they make it seem like it's wrong, you're inferior, you're weak if you are alone. So that is their value. That is their standard. So if you're trying to match that standard like silly putty, and you're trying to remember back in the day, those people who grew up with silly putty as their plaything. No, we did not have computers, video games. We maybe had the Atari that you could try to put on the television, but half the time it was broken. I love it. Remember when it's like, well, you can get some silly string or silly putty, and it's like this. Clay, silicone rubber clay. You could mash up, and then you could put it on a comic, and then peel it off, and then the silly putty would have the ink, and you could stretch it all around. You are not a silly putty to this narcissist. You are not trying to be a mirror image. You are not like the blank slate to the reality of the narcissist. Even though you had maybe tried to, maybe that was like the thrust of the relationship. Maybe that's what you had to believe or feel or be. You don't have to be like a wishbone, and then when you pull away, you've got the lower, the smaller piece. You have the whole wishbone. You are the wishbone. You can, send a shot out there into life and then go and retrieve it for yourself. You do not have to be the mirror image of this person. So if you feel alone and feel like it's less than, really search your soul and be rigorously honest and say, is it actually okay? Is it actually what I need to do? I can handle this. I can fill my time up with what I need to make me more refined, more learned. I need to become kind of a bookie. I need to be kind of a nerd-like. I need to do some reading, studying, journaling. I need to do some recovery dates. I need to go out to some fabulous places and take it all in, unencumbered, unimpeded, where my feelings, my emotions, my feedback are echoed out. So isn't this beautiful? This is magnificent. No one's going to tell you, we got to leave, it's time to go. You can go to, I want you to take yourself out on your recovery dates to some beautiful places. Maybe it's a church. Maybe it's a beautiful river. Maybe it's, the outback, the wilderness where no one else sees it, where only your eyes can see it, where it's undisturbed. And go to those places where you're undisturbed and allow yourself to be treated like the king or queen that you are. Take yourself out for a walk. Your recovered, healed self that is okay alone. Because do you see, if you put your okayness based on the needs of somebody else, the way that a narcissist or psychopath does, then your emotional well-being is going to be controlled by something that is external or valid, outside of yourself. That wholeness needs to be experienced within. So it's an experiential and a physiological state that you can come out feeling okay, and then you can then share, and then you're a better match then to that which is healed, because if you're still wounded, you're going to be an energetic match to only those people who are wounded or who will take advantage of the wounded, so, or reinforce the wound. So you need to go out and take your healed self out and begin to feed it. You know, in other words, take yourself out for a meal, take yourself out for a gander into some, you know, antiques, or a sewing store or a hardware store, and begin building, begin, you know, the creative process, begin to have then a store, you know, take pictures of the food that you've made, and then begin to see what a wonderful cook you are. Begin to reflect back the wonders of you, so then you know who you are again, and you will begin to regain that trust. But the cycle of trust is going to begin right here. You know, I took the pictures I have for me. It's not just, you know, to show or to impress somebody. It is to, the only you have to impress is you at this point. The only person you have to take care of is you at this point. That is your priority. And so taking pictures of your food, take pictures of your smoothies, you know, take pictures or videos of your walk. Go to a beautiful church and just gaze at the stained glass windows. Look at the skyscrapers and think of all the, you know, amazing work. Take some unique photographs that you find, you know, get some creative images for yourself and begin to have them just for you. The trust that you will then begin to develop within yourself. And you'll know, once you are able to execute and enforce these recovery dates and these astromations, you'll begin to see that you have boundaries and standards. You'll begin to develop that trust, and then not be afraid of then sharing with others. You'll begin to, you know, be a little bit expansive. Little by little, you'll begin to then share with others, who will then say, awesome, that is so cool, that's amazing, that is beautiful. And you are enough and beautiful just as you are. You don't have to refine. You don't have to worry about someone saying, that's not good enough. That will no longer fall on your ears. It'll just be water off your back. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. When you get to that point, you know that you're truly healed. It doesn't matter if anyone approves or not. I approve. And you've got that mark of approval for yourself each and every day. That you have that, then you'll be able to have that, and you'll be whole, healed. It's like, you know, the basement will be water sealed. No more leaks from the negativity of a psychopath will come in. It can be out there. Sure, go ahead. I'm not trying to change you, change who you are, change, you know, what you're doing. In fact, if you're still going to approach me, you're just going to hit up with a seal that is 100% watertight. It's just going to bounce back to you. I'm not responsible or accountable, but it's not interfering with my quantum energy, my etheric fields. I have rehabilitated that. I have done my astromations. They are singing out in front of the universe, and they have fallen on receptive, positive ears, not the ears of the psychopath, that my secrets are no longer there with them. They don't live there. In fact, this person doesn't even know what they are. They haven't even taken root there. I am, you know, my energetic field is not there. I have pulled it back. I have pulled it back to me. It's within my range. It's within my heart range, which is 8 to 9 feet out. And my energy from my heart extends out, up, and around, back, you know, and back and underneath me. But that is not shared with this malignant person. This is mine. The trillions of cells that have remade themselves in this time are mine. They are recalculated and reformatted, reconditioned, and reprogrammed by a healthier me that has resensitized me. So your body, your cells in your body turn over. You know, you can study this. This is science. Your cells turn over. They create new cells, you know, new hair, new skin, new eye cells, new liver cells, etc. You know, your body is growing and churning, and now you're sharing it with a healthier energetic field once you begin to refresh the mind, body, and spirit through all the tools that we've described, particularly the resensitization, you know, of the skin, the brushing, you know, the massaging. People get addicted to massage. If your skin, if you're sort of, you know, feeling isolated, be like, you know what, peace and harmony, this is crazy, but for one of my recovery dates, I'm actually going to go and get a massage and see what this is about. It might not be good for you. It might be good. You might say, you know what, working out and exercising and flexing and releasing and doing Tai Chi or ballet or, you know, Zumba, that is a massage for me because I'm massaging my muscles while I do this. You know, I'm working my muscles. That is enough. If you need it from the outside, you know, see what sort of massages there are. Some people love massages, especially if they carry like a lot of pain, you know, or tension, and this helps relieve them, and that can be a great way to rehabilitate and resensitize the skin. I have all sorts of tools that I recommend, especially in the book that I'm working on, which are completely for rehabbing and restoring the organ of the skin, how to get new positive energy going from the skin in, energy and stimulation so that you're energizing the skin, like the dry brushes, like the, what is it called? The silica brush, the sisal brush, I'm sorry, that is a wonderful natural product that carries the energy from your hand or another's healing hand into your body, you know, all through your body. You know, and even your feet, you know, doing your feet on the top, in between your toes, on the bottom of your feet. Your feet are very sensitive. See what ways you can rehabilitate all of your senses. Getting a foot massage, getting a manicure and a pedicure, coming back into your skin, where your quantum energy is coming back, and then you're using that on your recovery date. Men, I'm not recommending that you get a manicure, but you might want to go and get a massage in the sort of tension or type that you like. Even a foot massage, that might be very personal, but you might find this rehabilitating or relaxing. You know, having scented candles, the Palo Alto wood, you know, burning some of these sacred woods that have this wonderful healing sense. The essential oils to rehabilitate some of the other kind of forgotten senses of scent, of, you know, the olfactory system, the, you know, the hot chocolates, the teas that have a sense, you know, a scent for you. Go and exploring different teas and essential oils that are rejuvenating or calming for you. And then the healing foods, maybe you make these stews, these soups for yourself that are put in with your hand-cut ingredients, you know, the hand-cut salads, these things that are more, you know, restorative for you, that you have, you know, provided for yourself, will help to restore the inner trust and then be able to be a match to those who you can trust, but you will feel a little bit different now. You'll feel a little bit cautious, but, you know, and you won't just give it your all. You'll be able to have a keen sense of trust with those who you have consciously and decisively let in only after they have proven themselves trustworthy. But do not be alarmed if this stage takes a while.